G'day guys, Jack Smillan, the Wealth Mentor. I hope you're doing well. So we are planning some gardening activities. This is, I'm up on my balcony right now and looking down on our, what we're referring to as Zone 1. Plan is that we've started to plant our vegetable garden and we want to make a food spiral. So if you can imagine, in the center area here, we're going to have a circular garden bed. We're going to have paths that lead up and through, so you can walk through. And basically this entire grassed area we're going to turn into a garden. So what I'm doing is I'm basically lopping trees, or there's trees that have already fallen around the property. I'm chopping them up and I'm using them as basically garden beds. What that allows us to do is to fill that with soil and then essentially plant there. And then that will obviously replace the bacterial systems, which is the grass, with fungal systems, which is what we want to promote the right things to grow. And hopefully over the course of the next kind of 3 to 6 months, we can really have this come to life. So excited about that. So this is the area that we are working with. It's a big space. So what's really interesting, one of the things that I've noticed about spending so much time outside over the last kind of month or so and being more physical, and just there's obviously lots of chores to do, and obviously that's the one of the thing that people warned me of. But the big thing was that it's actually been really enjoyable. I've really enjoyed it. It's really been fulfilling, but although I'm working harder, I actually have more energy, which is really interesting. That's the thing that I probably wasn't expecting at all. I thought I'd be exhausted all of the time. And sure, we've been getting some earlier nights, but once you kind of find yourself in a bit of a groove, you kind of like just get stuck in, right? And you just kind of get used to it. Your body adapts and learns to be more efficient with its energy. And I feel more energized and I feel stronger, fitter. All around, I just feel better. So we're going to get stuck into these chores, even though it's really hot. It's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's very hot. But the chores aren't going to do themselves. So let's get stuck in. Got my trusty chainsaw. My trusty quad. So I haven't come very far, but what I want to share with you guys is what we've planted already. So this was one of our grassed areas, and we've already started converting it into a fungal system that's going to support building a bit of a food forest. We've got capsicums, we've got eggplant, tomatoes, sweet potato, chili, basil, Thai basil. We've just planted some different chilies, oregano, rosemary, cilantro, I think, and yeah, that's it for now. So the plan is we've just started to build out these. That's just banana to use as compost. I need to get a composter, so I can basically break that down. So we're going to cover this whole area. Same thing with this. We're going to cover all of this. So one of the key things of being in the tropics is that we have the wet season and there are also cyclones. As you might be able to see, there is a tree behind me there that has broken off in a previous cyclone. And we've got this tree that is massive and it kind of just gets too close to the house. So we're going to get an arborist to come out and talk about removing that. And also we've got another tree very similar that hangs over our power lines. So if something were to happen, then obviously we want to minimize the risks of that. But the great thing about chopping this is that all of these things become garden beds and allow us to create new life. So basically anything that's cut is replaced by like 4 or 5 or more things. So circle of life of living on a farm. All right, let's get into it. All right, so I'm just looking around for trees that have already fallen. So it saves me having to cut down new trees. There's a couple over here. There's some bananas here that need to come down, ready to go. So as you can see here, there's already a stack of trees that have already been cut. So there's no point cutting ones until we've already utilized what we've got. So I'm gonna get stuck into cracking into that, chopping it up and using this to make the garden bed. Alrighty, so we're gonna get stuck in over here. Make some sounds. We did run into a taipan the other night, so there's definitely taipans around. If I was a taipan, this is where I'd want to live. Deal. Alright, so we made pretty short work of that. It's coming together pretty well. So we make them into decent sized pieces, so then obviously we can make different patterns, and obviously we want them big enough to make sure that they don't just rot away, that they last for a long time. Because as you can see, all of these gardens are built in the exact same way. And it really does a great job at containing the kind of the garden from the walking paths and whatnot. So that's the plan. Oh, it's exhausting work. So I've got about 10 or so pieces of wood. I'm going to go up and start positioning them, and so at least I can get a bit of a feel for how much I can get done with this load, and keep it going. Alrighty. All good, nothing wrong. That's fine. That's my rake. Later. Alright, so I'm going to start grabbing wood and positioning it. I'm trying to create a path here. Ah, and I've got those little green ants in my socks. Fuck it. Oh, these little green ants. And they are little bitches. Alright. Grab a big bit. We're basically running this all along here. Alright, so I've been able to do a couple of meters or so there, which is good. I've got a little bit more to do there. And that's basically that first section. I'm then going to start making the circle in the middle, and then we're going to start filling it with soil. All right, I'm going to see if I can get myself a star apple. Good just to get a little bit of sugar. In the old tank. Let's see if I can get them this time. Oop, my phone thing that I just bloody bought keeps coming off. So there's a lot of ripe star apples, let me show you, up there, but I guarantee as soon as I cut them, the cassowary is going to come. All right, let's try. I guarantee it. You can hear the drop from forever away. They have really good hearing. Because whenever these fall, they make like a thud. One thud. Yep. As soon as I cut it, it'll come up. Hey buddy, do you want a star fruit? Do you want a star apple? Look at this. Here he is. He's right there. I'll get out of your way, mate. Don't worry. You can have it. Whatever you do, leave me alone. Look at that. Cheeky bugger. He just hides in the bush. Yeah, you're cheeky. And Yorkie's losing her mind as soon as she sees the cassowary. I was going to eat that. I really was. You cheeky bugger, huh? I think that's a young male. He's not so tall, he's probably about 5 foot. Can you let me cut some more? He's gonna go, and as soon as I cut another one, I guarantee he's back. And that sound that they make is calling the other cassowary. I can hear one behind me. George didn't come back a second time, but there's another star fruit here for him. They've all got very different personalities. So some of them are really inquisitive, some are very standoffish. Most are quite curious. Never dangerous. Like, I think it's just because they've got this look on their face. A murderous look. Very much a murderous look. Of this just like the stare of a shark, like of a predator. We've got really close. I'm always really cautious. As you can see me, I move behind something, whether it's behind the trailer or behind the quad. Whatever I need to do. But here's the thing, right? We're never sneaking up on them. They're often lurking, then they're very, very quiet when they want to be moving through the bush. And then, if you do pay attention, this is why I never wear earphones when I'm out in the yard, you can hear them coming through the bush. But they can be very stealthy. I've been snuck up on a couple of times. But it's never malicious. They're always cautious of us, we're always cautious of them. And it's just learning to live symbiotically with these creatures. Super misunderstood. We were so terrified the first time. Completely terrified. And you just need to be careful. Like, obviously, they're wild animals. That fella is probably 60 kilos. The biggest ones are probably 70 or 80 kilos, 6 foot tall. They've got these talons and these massive, powerful feet. They're not a creature that you wanna fuck with, but just beautiful, amazing. Probably one of the things I'm most excited about is bringing some friends out here and just facilitating them coming face to face with a cassowary for the first time. So I have a couple of friends, Ryan and Kaylee, who are coming up to visit some family who live locally, and they're going to be dropping in and hanging out for a bit, and it's going to just blow their minds, absolutely blow their minds. So I'm super excited to facilitate that. I'm also really excited to build some of the retreat facilities. I'm starting to change my perspective on this retreat. I want this to be a sanctuary. I want this to be a sanctuary for animals. I want to continue to set this up so we can rescue more animals, rescue livestock, rescue dogs, and rehabilitate them, take animals that no one else will take. And I want to couple that with making this a sanctuary for entrepreneurs. Because mental health is probably the most significant killer in the entrepreneurial community. There are these impossible standards enforced upon entrepreneurs, coupled with this unhealthy obsession with perfection and growth and hustling. You've heard me talk about before this fucking ridiculous hustle movement that honestly does more harm than good. The happiest people I know are the people who earn enough to have choice. I'm going to stop using the word freedom, because freedom is extremely subjective, and the idea of freedom, the concept of freedom, the abstract of freedom, is incredibly hard to create. How are you ever truly free? Right? How are you ever truly free? You've escaped a corporate role with a fixed salary, fixed hours, however, certain limitations that people tell you what to do. You have to work to their timetable. You maybe have limited earning capacity. And you go and start your business because you want freedom and you want flexibility. And anybody who's ever started a business knows that you end up working more hours for less pay, and there's a sacrifice that's required whilst you get to a certain level of scale where you can reap the rewards of your labour. But then where's freedom? How many business owners do you know that are actually free? Free of the responsibilities of their business, free of the responsibilities of their staff, free of the responsibilities of their clients. That's not freedom. However, and further to that, let's expand on this. You build enough wealth where you have the ability to retire. Retirement is the new buzzword. There's so many of these internet marketers who are like, oh, I retired at 30 or I retired at 25. Why the fuck am I still seeing your advertisements on Facebook? If you're retired, meaning that you are no longer working, you now have the ability to live life on your own terms, why the fuck are you advertising, trying to get more clients? So all of these people that tell you this narrative that they're retired, most of it's bullshit. And the vast majority of it comes at a cost too, right? Because you now are responsible for your money. You're responsible for your investments. Your retirement is directly reliant on your ability to continue to produce passive income or have realizable investment assets that you can sell down and use to fund your lifestyle. You're never free. However, choice, you can create choice. You can create an abundance of choice. You can create an abundance of opportunity. And opportunity always exists. However, opportunity without the ability to choose and to pursue those opportunities is the reality that many of us face. We all have opportunities to do whatever, to have the freedom that we want. However, can we afford to pay the price? And this is why I want to create this sanctuary for animals and entrepreneurs. I don't want anybody to come here. I can hear George in the background. I don't want anyone to be able to come here. I want people to come here who truly need a sanctuary, who need somewhere to come and relax and reset with their family, to be able to unwind without the distractions of their life and their business, of where they can really facilitate the pursuit of mastery in the 3 areas that really matter the most. Wealth. Let's create amazing businesses, great profits that allow us to amass amazing wealth. Health. Let's promote healthy lifestyles and habits. Sustainable living practices. Taking care of the temple. And relationships. Connection to the people that matter most to us. Our partners, our children. Oh, Jesus. I was on a roll there and I just ruined it by my sneeze. Bless me. And the creatures that we are supposed to coexist here with, right? And this is where this combination and this synergy of animals and entrepreneurs comes from. I want to bring entrepreneurs here and be able to facilitate them understanding the land, understanding the flora and the fauna, understanding how to care for animals in need, to be able to facilitate learning and discovery and growth. And to be able to get yourself out of an environment that you would typically be in for one that's potentially a little bit uncomfortable. Our plan is to set this up as like glamping tents with very basic minimalist facilities. We've got phone reception here and we're 15 minutes from town. Like, it's not way out in the wilderness. But then be able to facilitate treks into the World Heritage listed rainforest, to follow the meandering creeks all the way up to the top, to see the sandy banks of the river and the lake that's up there. To be able to experience this type of environment with just a short stone throw away from civilization, and still have all things that you want, right? That's what I want to create. I think it's a unique opportunity to create a unique experience that is for me as much as it is for anyone else. But for me to be able to share that, it's pretty cool. Because when I think about it, after losing Dobby 2 days ago, and I'm look back over all of the photos of him, and every single photo has the same expression on his face of gratitude. We gave him a second chance, and he spent every single day showing his gratitude for that. He was such a grateful dog. Wow. He was well-mannered and he was protective of us and he loved us so much. The way that he would lay on my chest, and if I'd be watching TV, he'd just lay there looking at me for hours with this just unconditional love. And when I think about it, we created a sanctuary for him. We created a sanctuary to give him a second chance. And when I think back on the advice that my old man gave me on his deathbed, he said, Jackson, every person in this world has two lives. And your second life starts when you realize that you only have one. He discovered that too late. I was afforded the opportunity to discover that early. And as a result, I've been able to live an amazing life with amazing opportunity, with a tremendous amount of choice. And I want to give other entrepreneurs that choice as well. So I just wanted to share some thoughts with you guys, share with you a couple of chores just so you can see the progress, a little bit of a vlog, some cassowary action as usual. And I hope you've enjoyed it. If you're enjoying this kind of content and you'd like to get more, if you have any questions, please let me know. I love your feedback. Please share it. Chat to you soon.